Hello out there, everybody. Once again, it is your manager of community partnerships, Erin Holt, and I am bringing you a new art video. This one was actually done by one of our fabulous teaching artists. Her name is Ruby Sevilla, and she is an excellent fibers artist, ceramicist, and printmaker. And we actually went with printmaking this week. That's what we wanted to show you. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, we really love printmaking. If you haven't tried it before, printmaking is super fun. It's been a really popular art form during quarantine, and we encourage you to get involved with it. The equipment is fairly simple, and you can pick it up at pretty much any art store or online. The other reason that we chose printmaking, though, is that this is an art form that's commonly associated with making multiples. What's cool about that is when you have multiples, you can share it with people. And that's really what we want you to do. We want you to make art and share it with others. Right now, we could all use a little bit of a pick-me-up. And so if you're making art postcards, you can send them to your friends, your family. You can send one to us at Artistry. I'll put the address down below. And that'll be just a nice little thing that we can do for each other in this time. It's also going to be great for the United States Postal Service. They're in a bit of trouble right now, and so if we can buy a stamp and send a postcard, it won't just make us happy, it'll help them out as well. So I hope you guys have a bit of fun. Try this new art form if you can, and at the very least, let's send some art to each other.
Hi, I'm Ruby Sevilla, and I'm a teaching artist with Artistry. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a printed postcard so that you can make your own and then send it to a friend. The paper that we'll be using today is a 5x7 rectangle. I just found a postcard at home and I traced it onto some printing paper that I had, and I think this will be a really nice size to send in the mail. To make our stamp, we will be using soft cut. This is really easy to carve and it's great for beginners. Besides soft cut, you could also use linoleum. This stuff is a little bit stiffer, but still great to use, and you can find either of these at any art supply store. I've decided I kind of want to do something with flowers on it, so I've found this nice yellow flower that I think I'll do. So I have my Sharpie, let's get started. These are the three carving tools that we'll be using today. The first one we're going to use is going to be this medium U-gouge, and we'll use this to carve the outline of our image. While you're carving the outline, make sure that you're always carving away from yourself, just to make sure that you don't poke yourself with the tool. The second U-gouge we're going to use is going to be this big one, and we're going to use this one so we can clear out all of the empty space around our image. The last U-gouge we're going to use is this really tiny one. And this is going to help us add in really fine detail and make our image look really pretty. Adding details is one of my favorite parts because I think it makes the design really pop. Make sure that you take your time and you're really careful with these marks, as they're really important to the image. So we are all done carving. Next up, we're going to ink these up. The surface we'll be using to ink on is this plexiglass plate. I just got this at the hardware store and I had them cut it down to a nice usable size. If you don't have one of these, that's fine. You can just use a baking sheet. The important thing is that the surface is non-porous, because that way it won't absorb any of the ink and we'll have a nice smooth surface to ink up on. The block is full of ink. There's a little bit of ink on these parts here. So this is called shadow, where you have ink on the carved lines that you don't want to see. I kind of like how it looks, so I'm gonna keep this, but if you're not a big fan of that and you want a really clean look, you can always just carve these parts away. I have my paper all ready to go. Center your paper, take your block, flip it over, and kind of eyeball where the center is. Might be a little off, that's okay. We're just eyeballing it. To print our image, we're going to be using this tool called a Baron. And this is a really useful hand printing tool that you can use when you don't have a printing press at home. And now we can see our beautiful print underneath. Keep in mind that this image is a mirror image of this. So if you're doing anything like a word or a state outline, just make sure that you reverse that image before you carve. Look at all the prints that we just made. The awesome thing about printmaking is that you can make a ton of the same image. This is especially great because we're intending to mail all of these, so you can make enough and send them to all of your friends. I have put a little stamp on mine and I've written a letter on the back, and I'm going to send this to one of my friends. Now I want to challenge you to make your own print and send it to some of your friends.